Hey guys, welcome to our video, and in this series we're going to talk about how to hedge against inflation. So as you know, the American government is still printing money. It's 2021, and historically we've been printing about 2 to 3%, causing inflation, causing asset prices to go up, devaluating our dollar. And obviously now it's very, very obvious that in 2021, they're printing tons of money. Our currency was about 25% increase. So our purchasing power is dropping dramatically, and everything is hard to find. And if you do find it, it's gonna cost you a lot of money. So in this series, we're going to be talking about different ways we can hedge against inflation. So as we've been continuing to print more money, what lies ahead is, in my opinion, more printing. We're in a never-ending cycle where we're creating more debt to pay off previous debt. So to be able to continue this game, you have to print more money, which you're going to have to use that money to pay off the old money. In addition to that, as you're printing more money, it devalues the currency. Devalues the currency causes inflation. How you fight inflation is increasing interest rates. But if you look at the amount of national debt we have and what it would take for us to increase the interest rate, the payment that we would owe nationally for that increased interest would be so high that we are not collecting enough through tax. And even if we did increase the tax higher, we would still not be able to increase the interest high enough to truly fight inflation. Normally you have to increase interest roughly 1% higher than the current inflation rate. To do that would be devastating to our country and the global economy. So because of that, I don't see us stopping what we're doing right now. I see us speeding it up. In this video, I'm going to be talking about different ways where we can hedge inflation. So one of the ways that I hedge against inflation is real estate. So there's many reasons that real estate is a really good hedge against inflation. One, it is a necessity. You need somewhere to live. And with real estate, you can pick where you can buy. So if you pick an area that has growth, that there's jobs, that as inflation increases, those jobs increase in compensation. For example, the medical industry. The medical industry is a necessary industry, and those jobs are going to keep increasing in price. The salaries are going to keep going up as inflation goes up. So those individuals will be able to pay higher and higher rents. Everything is going to go up when inflation goes up. So we're talking about utilities, we're talking about not just the property value, property taxes, insurance, all costs will be going up. So we want to be in an area where we can hedge against inflation. Real estate gives us that ability. So because real estate has that ability, another factor with real estate that hedges against inflation is that it's limited supply. Even though you can create more real estate, currently at this point in time, we're about 3 million housing units short in this country. With that, the amount of time it will take to add those units will take, if they try to change today, would take probably at least 10 years to fill in the gaps. All of the demographics, all of the information is showing that housing is gonna be in even higher demand in 5 years from now. With millennials buying homes, the number of 3 generations in one family are gonna eventually wanna move out and have their own space. So there's a lot of factors that are showing that real estate is gonna even be in higher demand, and currently we're 3 million housing units short. With that said, I don't see real estate prices really going down without a banking crisis, so this is a great way to hedge against inflation. In addition to that, with real estate, it is one of the best ways to get low interest rate debt. When you get debt, you are actually borrowing money. Now that makes sense, that's common sense, but the money we're borrowing, our money is debt-based money. So you're taking a loan on money that's a loan that has an intrinsic interest rate of minimum 3%, which is the inflation rate, and you're borrowing at 3%. So you're basically borrowing money for free. And since inflation this year is pegged to be around 6%, which I actually think is higher than that, you're actually winning on that bet because the people you're borrowing money from, which is the government, they're losing 3% on that deal. Inflation is 6%, your loan is 3%. That means you're winning by 3%, on top of the fact that the real estate's going up in value. So given that debt is so easy to get, and the loan to value is a lot higher than, say, in the stock market. You can get up to 80, sometimes even 96.5% for first-time home buyers loan to value. Compared to the stock market, usually it's only about 50% loan to value on margin trades. So the debt you're getting is going to help you significantly on your returns and fighting inflation.
Why do you say real estate is a hedge against inflation?
With real estate, there's only so much out there. You cannot build fast enough for our current demand. If we did, all the people that are gonna come to work would have to be paid a lot more money. And right now it's really hard to find anybody to work. So if you had the hard to find people to work and hard to find materials, the cost is gonna be very high, which is gonna fight against inflation and go above inflation. Today we're seeing 25% increases on home values in the really popular areas. There's a lot of jobs there, a lot of people there. People wanna be there, so you can get good hedge against inflation. On top of that, you're borrowing money, which again, our dollar is debt, or loans that we're paying interest. We're borrowing money from the government with these loans for homes, and the inflation is at 6% right now. We're borrowing at 3%. We're winning. The person who's giving us the money is losing on that bet. In addition to that, we're buying real estate that's going up in value and very hard to replace. We gotta remember that 3% of all the homes in this country become uninhabitable every year. So naturally, real estate is becoming more scarce with the population growth and with the properties becoming dilapidated and with the demand. So real estate is increasing in demand as population is growing and the supply is shrinking with the dilapidation. And everything new we're putting out, it costs more money. So that means everything old is worth more. So we have to invest in things that are gonna give us cash flow and increase against inflation, that are necessities. That's why I think real estate is a great way to hedge against inflation. One example of how real estate is a hedge against inflation. On our most recent fund, we bought property in downtown St. Pete. Because downtown St. Pete, the nice part of town, the safer part of town, there's very few areas available. Because there's very few available, if you can get one, you're lucky. As the dollar is devalued, as inflation increases, people are gonna have more money. People are willing to pay to get safety, to get convenience, to get the nice ambiance. So if you have something people want that is scarce, they will pay more for it over time as the dollar is devaluated, ignoring job growth and everything else. Because if you make money worth less, people have more of it that have money. Rich get richer. That's just flat out in an inflationary economy. So now, people that have money will have more of it. They're gonna want safety, they're gonna want ambiance, they're gonna want convenience. They're gonna end up paying more. And if you do buy these properties with a loan that's fixed, you get all of this upside. And that's how you can make money in real estate, and that's how you can hedge against inflation. So inflation is your friend in the real estate game. So what are the different ways you can invest in real estate? You can own multifamily properties, you can own commercial properties, you can own warehouses, you can own industrial. There's a lot of different types of real estate you can invest in that is gonna have a different cycle, right? So right now, almost everything's doing well except for office space, given that COVID and people aren't working from home. But with that, you can invest on your own. But if you don't have enough money, or if you don't know what to buy or where to buy, you can invest in a syndication. So in a syndication, you're putting your money with a pool of other people, and you have someone that knows what they're doing, that finds the properties, will buy them, will make sure that they're in good condition, will make sure they maintain them. They do basically everything A to Z for property ownership, and you get a percentage of the benefits. So as inflation happens and the property goes up in value, you get the benefit of that. And the debt is also not in your name. The debt is in the operator's name. So you can have less risk and more upside potential.
Do you get returns every year? Or is there like a time limit on a syndication fund of getting, like you said, your returns?
So it depends on what you're investing in. So individually, depends on what you invest in, is how you're gonna get your payout. And individually, usually it takes a lot longer to get a payout, and the payouts aren't as good because you don't have efficiency of scale. But with the syndication, it also has the same factors involved, but normally you have efficiency of scale, so your payouts are better. And normally you're looking at every month to 3 months, sometimes 6 months or annually, depends on what you're investing in. But on average, I would say probably every quarter is more like average of when you get your payouts. And it depends on your style as well. So if you can sometimes invest in a syndication where they're building something from ground up and then they sell after 3 years when it's done. So you only get paid one time in 3 years. So there's a lot of different ways. It depends on what you need, because some people don't need the money. Some people just want to put their money somewhere so it can constantly grow as inflation grows. So that's why real estate's a great hedge against inflation. So in closing, real estate is a great investment. I love it. In addition to the cash flow that I get and the appreciation, it has great tax write-offs. So As I'm investing in a piece of real estate, I get a lot of tax write-offs that can reduce my income from my other real estate or my other businesses. We have a lot of free resources for you guys. Feel free to subscribe below to get all of our information in our videos and to look at the properties that we're looking to buy. This is a great way for you to educate yourself on what is quality, what is something that is worth investing in. So we have a ton of free resources, and you can follow us by subscribing below, and you will be able to learn from us, from what we're doing. And one day, you might join our team. See you next time.